All right, good afternoon. So we're interviewing another founding family member. May I have your name?
Norma Schirtzinger.
And when did you and your family move into the southeast part of Delaware County?
In 1968.
And what parish were you in at that point?
We came from St. Matthias and put our children in St. Paul's because the two oldest were in school. And then when the busing became too much, then I felt like a parish hopper. Then we went to Ascension in Johnstown.
Okay.
Then they were, of course, in school in Sunbury, and they started having church in the gymnasium in Sunbury. So we started there. Then I got a letter saying that New Albany, and of course it's only 4 miles.
Okay.
Now, I was trying to remember going to the school, and I believe we only went to the Mass at school when they had it. Didn't they have it in the school building for a short period of time?
From what I've been told and from what I had heard over the years of being pastor, that originally the community, which was a mission from Gahanna St. Matthew Parish, was worshiping in the public school here in New Albany. Mm-hmm. And then they relocated from the school due to a ballot issue. Not enough money came through, so they had to relocate. But then another observation was supposedly the community had to relocate because of anti-Catholic sentiment.
Oh, really?
All right. Now, that's what I heard from some other families over the years. And then they went from the school up to the Lions Club at 605 at Central College Road.
Well, see, that I remember very fondly, and that's what I'm saying. I was there very much then, and that's what I'm getting at. I can only remember going to the school, and at my age, it's very fuzzy. I know that I was there before. I don't know that we attended there a long time. I don't even know how long they were at the school. But no, the Lions Club and then the rectory, I remember, they had a chapel in the garage.
Yeah, yes.
And I remember going to a Holy Day Mass that we had in the yard.
Oh, okay.
We had it outside, and I remember going over to, as you remember, the grandchildren grandbabies that I had. One of them was living with us, and I took him as an infant to the garage chapel for visitation. You know how we signed
Eucharistic
up.
adoration?
Yeah, adoration. And they actually had a rocking chair, if I, unless I dreamt that. But yeah. So, I have a lot of good memories of the times of going to the Lions Club. Lions Club would be full.
Yeah.
It was, full. And
you're the first to say that you received a letter.
I received something because we were going to Sunbury. Yeah,
right.
We were going to Sunbury, and we are in Delaware County.
Right.
So and I would not have known.
Right.
Nobody. I didn't. As you know, I was a mail carrier, so I knew a lot of people, but I wasn't friends with a lot of people in New Albany because my children they weren't in school here.
So when you went to the mission with the priest coming up from St. Matthew, you knew some people, but not everybody. But it
was so nice putting faces with names.
Okay, sure.
Because I didn't shop here, or anything like that. So I'm just saying it. When I came, no, I didn't know a lot of people. That probably didn't take too long.
Yes. So were you pleased that you only had to drive 4 miles to Mass?
Absolutely. Why? Because the children were in Sunbury, and I won't say the two older ones were thrilled with the idea because their friends went to Sunbury, but it was so much closer.
Right.
So much closer.
So when the first pastor was named and you went to Mass that following Sunday, were you excited that, hey, we're finally a parish?
Oh, yeah. I was just very happy with the whole thing. And two, New Albany was still small, so it didn't take, people were very friendly.
Yeah.
Didn't take long to feel a part. I didn't think of, you didn't feel when you go and you see a lot of faces that you know, and everything.
When it was a mission, was there any rumor about a parish being started?
Not that I ever. See, that's what I'm saying. I didn't have close friends here, so I never. If there were gossip or rumors.
Okay,
I didn't hear
that's
them.
fine.
No.
So
yeah,
the
I
first
didn't.
pastor came in July of 1983, and you're still meeting at the Lions Club
Mm-hmm.
with 3 masses on the weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the house on Central College Road
Was-
had a detached 2-car garage, which was renovated for
chapel.
daily mass chapel. And I saw pictures of meetings being
Yeah.
held therein, talking about the construction of the new worship facility, etc. Were you excited that a new parish was starting?
Oh, absolutely.
Were you anxious to get involved?
I was involved. I worked on the fund drives, the pledge funds. We had names, we were given names, and it's not an easy thing to do. And they tried to
Correct.
keep it in our area, hoping, I can't remember if there were people that I really knew, because, when you live out, you don't
Yeah.
necessarily know people in the next road. But yeah, you would call and talk to them and make an appointment. And go sit down. And I worked on that drive, and
Okay.
then I worked on the next drive, because then we had an additional fund drive.
Right. Were you willing to sacrifice financially to build the first structure?
Yeah. I mean, anything, because we had 4 children, we'd build a house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all,
Were you excited when we got into what is now the ministry center?
Absolutely.
All
I
right.
mean, it was just, by then you're part of it. So I think it's like building a new house. You're all excited to see
Yeah.
the culmination of what it's all going to become. I'm excited now. I like going over there every once in a while to functions, to see how it still looks like it, but yet it looks very pretty, very nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice asset.
And in response to where the parish is today,
Well, it's huge.
yes.
And I said I go to church. I'm a 9 o'clocker.
Okay.
It's just once in a blue moon, I'll go to 5, and I probably haven't been to an 11 o'clock mass 5 times in all the years.
Okay.
But, so it's like a whole new different, but I go, and it's almost, for me, it's sad, because I go, and maybe I don't see anybody that I know, or it's wonderful. Kathy Folk and her husband sat in front of me. A couple of, hi, how are you? It's just nice when you see familiar faces. And now, it's my fault. I'm not as involved. I tried once to get back into greeting and everything, but I still work, and I go vacation a lot, and so I'm gone. And I don't like to take on an obligation and then call and say, I can't do it now, get a substitute.
Are any of your children still connected to the parish or grandkids?
Nope. No, Larry and Annette and Eric and his wife Christy are at St. John Newman up in Sunbury. And Laura is at St. Mary's in Delaware. And, well, I shouldn't say that. No, Joanna and Pete Ekus, they go here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I wasn't even thinking of that. But yeah, and they usually go on Saturday evening, because I still sit in the same spot. Then I was going to set other places, and I go back to, it doesn't look right. So I said, they know where to find me if they come, if they come back to church. They know where I'm at.
When I came back in 2003, you may recall I said, and I see some of you are still sitting in the same places you were when I left in 98. Well, I thought Bill Resch was going to roll out of his chair onto the floor. He was just hysterical with laughing.
Well, when Larry and Annette had their children, and came, I used to put things down and save them a seat. And of course, all of the friends, because see, that's what it's like, because everybody comes, they would razz me about, I said, hey, I paid for this. This is mine, right? This pew.
My aisle.
This is my pew. So.
Well, even when I attend now as a member of the congregation, I'll sit in the same spot.
You tend to grab, I don't know, it's just part of habit. It's habit.
Yeah.
But.
So, anything else you'd like to share that you may recall?
No,
but
like I said,
kids?
memory lane, because I was talking to the children about doing this, and Laura said something about baking altar bread. I had totally forgotten that.
Yeah, that was a custom.
When we started, that we did, everything was volunteer.
Yes.
We cleaned. We had groups. Nancy Phillips was the head of, I think she's who made the team. Well, maybe not, but she was on my team. But you've signed up and you came with your team on your appointed Saturday and vacuumed and cleaned, baked altar bread. You know, everything seemed to be, it was volunteer.
Right. And everybody had the same focus.
Yeah.
And they were all in this together.
Exactly.
Giving of time and talent and obviously your treasure to make the parish as it is today.
Right.
So, and that's why we're doing this, so that future generations know the sacrifice and the commitment of the founding families that have given us the parish that we have today, not only in terms of structure, building, but also in terms of warmth and hospitality. So.
Well, we used to, I mean, and I'm assuming it is the same. I don't get out to other parishes, but, you know, I was told, you know, we always had a good reputation for being friendly.
Yes.
You know, our parish sort of was known for that.
Yes.
And I was a perpetual greeter.
Yeah.
So, you know, so yeah, but no, that I just think, you know, like I said, this has caused me to think of things that I had.
That's wonderful.
Are having the festivals.
Yes.
And there again, no matter how long you've been at church and when you worked it, you met people that you know, because they weren't in your aisle, you know, your row. But you met people doing things. So I think that's why it is important. And I've always encouraged my kids, and about all of them do, in some form or other at different times, volunteer.
Yes.
Because not only is it good for the church, it's good for you.
Oh, yeah.
You do. You mean,
and giving you receive.
Right. And way more.
Yes.
You get way more back.
So personal recollection from myself is I remember being invited to a reconciliation service at the Lions Club in either Lent or Advent of 1984. And then I was here for the dedication Mass, pardon me, at the Ministry Center, our first building, in July of 1985. There were like 30 plus priests, present for that Mass. And I had seen a video 20 plus years ago, and there I am. So I had no
idea that this was your future.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I was doing hospital ministry, and I was engaged with that and happy with that, and I had no idea that 3.5 years later I would end up being a administrator.
Yeah.
So
that's what happens in life.
You got it.
Yeah. You head down this way, and then you head off of another.
Yes.
And
now, are you still living in the family home in Delaware County?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got to go home and mow tonight.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
I hope you have a
zero radius. I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I just you want to see the parish grow, and it's like growth. I was here in New Albany when, you know, it was not a farm community, but it was very rural.
Sure.
And there were only two mail routes. Yeah, 2.
And you had one of them?
And I had one of them. And that's how I got it, because there was one, and when it split, they needed a substitute for the second route.
Okay.
And that back then, that's how you got the job. And so I subbed, and then I became a carrier.
And your kids were older?
Eric was 10.
Okay.
When I, went to work. So, but yeah, there's wonderful things about, because look what a blessing it is to the community, but it's so nice when things are little. That's what getting old does. You yearn for the old days. Yeah. No, but it's not the same. It can't be the same.
Correct.
It cannot be the same. So you have to take whatever good you can make out of it.
Correct.
But it gets difficult.
I thank God every day that I'm vertical and I remember my name and address.
Yeah.
And then I take all my pills.
So, yeah, there's something to be said. When you think that Pat Washington, we went out to dinner and we were talking about how many of the families are gone.
That's why we're doing this.
I know.
Interview.
We're like the World War vets, huh?
Yeah.
There's only a few.
Well, Madeline Peters and Gail Kirkman died in March.
I know.
So.
See, that's what I thought. I was thinking, okay, the festivals now, and it was Roger Kirkman that seemed to do a lot as far as, I just remember him cooking.
Well,
And of course, he had a pizza place, I think, or something, didn't he?
I
at
never
one
met
time?
him. So.
Oh, didn't you? Well, but they would do. I mean, I can envision where we were at. And
Yeah.
everything, the building over there, and they cooked and on the outside,
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
brought
yeah,
it
yeah,
in
yeah,
and
yeah.
everything. But when we had the festivals and everything, you
Sonny
know, that's,
D'Amato ran the grill. You know,
yeah,
with-
yeah,
so-
exactly.
And I ran into him. He and his wife Bonnie are over at Heath St. Leonard Parish.
Oh, really?
Yeah, south of Newark and north
Yeah,
of Buckeye
yeah.
Lake. So, and I remember in 1988, December of '88, as I had just been assigned to Pickerington Seton Parish, coming up to the parish festival here in New Albany, because I was doing Irish step dancing, and a group of us were asked to perform. So I remember driving up and thinking, there's not much up here.
Little did you know, huh?
Small, festival and this and that, and somebody got some cardboard, plywood planks for us to dance on because
To me, yeah.
it was a gravel driveway.
Yeah.
So on the north side of the ministry center. So that was like August, September of '88, and then December of 1988, I get assigned here.
Yeah.
So,
I went up to St. John Newman's festival
oh,
this couple weeks ago.
Okay.
It was just a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
It's huge.
okay.
But there's another parish that went from
Nothing to something.
yeah,
and they're-
in a
they
very,
continue
very
to grow.
short period of time.
Yeah,
Very
so-
short period of time.
Larry
But-
and Annette are up there, you said, your
Yeah,
son and daughter? So they may get tapped for a pledge.
Oh, I'm sure. Because aren't they talking about a school up there?
Yes, and I saw the pastor from St. John Newman Parish at our priest convocation.
Father Drury.
Yeah, the middle of last month. I asked him what was going on, and he said they have plans for a grade school and high school, but they can't do anything until they get sewer service from the village of Sunbury. Evidently, there's water connection,
But not
to
Yeah.
to the site, but not sewer.
sewer.
So they can't.
See,
do
that's
anything
what I
till-
kept saying, because for years, they waited and they kept talking about, this area, because if you thought about how going around 270, the areas that were developed, this area wasn't, close to 270, and I kept saying, it'll take water. It'll take water even more, you
Yeah,
had it,
yeah.
and of course, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, once you got water and sewer
Mr.
out there.
Wexner, whoever he talked to, and the next thing we had water, and boom.
Yeah.
Then it-
You know the Conroys, Charlotte and Tom
Yeah, yes.
Conroys. They live over between 62 and Kitzmiller. Anyhow, where their neighborhood is, they don't have water and sewer.
Oh, that little, yes, I know where you're talking. See, there were only two routes, and I subbed in one route, and then I got the other. So at one time, I used to joke, I knew everybody in New Albany
Sure.
that fell in with New Albany mailing address.
Sure.
If not personally, because people would tell me their name, and I would tell them their address.
And they were shocked.
Oh, I've had some really experiences with that. And it'll be, I won't even think, I'm lucky to remember mine, but somebody will say something and it'll just it's like,
Yeah.
and it's this there. Now, if I try, I can.
Yeah.
But it's like a reaction. But after all, after 26 years, something
Sure.
is bound to stick.
Yes.
So.
Well, great.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with our parish. How big is big? How big can we be?
You got me. We got a big enough worship space.
I know.
For the
So-
future. So we'll see what happens. But
And we
then
have
tell them-
land.
Yeah.
That's another blessing to have some space.
I think we have about 22 acres here. So.
Yeah, because some churches, then they don't have room to do anything else.
Well, I was telling Chip between interviews today, some of the parishes, like Johanna St. Matthew, Upper Arlington, St. Andrew, Hilliard St. Brendan, sold off land over the decades because they didn't have or didn't foresee future use, and they have obviously become landlocked.
Yeah,
So far we haven't, knock on wood. So.
yeah. Well, that Laura up at St. Mary's.
Oh, Delaware.
I mean, they parking lot in the school, and
Yeah.
everything. So yeah, if you go up there, I have grandchildren, great grandchildren in St. Mary's.
Grade school.
Yeah, I'm old, so But yeah, so I'm still going to first communions and baptisms.
Oh,
and,
okay. Well, that's wonderful.
And things up there, and you have to park across the street, and there's a doctor or something. There's
Yeah.
a building there, and when it's after hours, they don't tow your car.
But
away.
it's good to hear the foundation of faith between you and your husband has gone to the children, the grandchildren, and the great-grandchildren.
Yeah, we're
They're
trying-
still
we're trying.
active in the church.
Yeah,
So,
some of them are.
okay.
I have a few grandchildren that aren't. But you were talking about Father Drury. He married Evan. You remember Evan? Yeah, Evan Ekus. So he was that's who married them. He was at St. Catherine's, I think.
Oh, yeah, on the east side.
Okay, that's where the wedding was. Yeah.
How old is Evan?
Oh, honey, he's 31. Yeah, you're old too.
I know. Thank you.
So yeah. Time's passing.
Oh, I know. So.
But anyway, I wish there was a way, and probably if I would volunteer more or do. But every time I plan on something, then a trip comes up, and I'm going. So I know, but I really do. I looked at the shawl ministry. I thought, well, I could do that because I could crochet in the evenings. It hadn't happened yet. Because I know they had a meeting or are going to have a meeting.
Yes, I think I read something in the bulletin.
Yeah, in the bulletin and stuff. I keep thinking of things, but like I said, it isn't. I've put some of my time in.
You have?
Yeah,
Thank you.
I mean, so I have to rest on my laurels.
Well, thank you for your gift of time and talent and treasure, and being a woman of faith, a family of faith.
But well, like I said, this is my home church.
Yes.
I mean, I can't. I could go up to Sunbury, and probably I would know more faces. Well, no, from the children being up there and being in school and
Sure.
the different things, and the kids, and
Sure.
but it's just not the same.
Correct.
I feel like I'm visiting,
Gotcha.
so.
This is my home parish,
Yeah,
too.
I like
so.
the way they do things here.
Thank you. Likewise.
So. And we're blessed, not buttering, sort of. We've had great pastors.
Thank you.
Well, we have, because Father Dennis, I mean, he's just a lovely man, and you were pretty nice yourself.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
The times you came and went.
I departed twice.
Yeah.
Returned
But you
twice.
kept coming back.
I know.
Yeah, you didn't learn any. Correct. So, but no, but like I said, I wish I saw more familiar faces, but I could rectify that, like I said, by becoming more active myself. But so far, it just hadn't worked out. You never know. There's always next year.
Correct.
So do you have any other questions?
No, that's it. Thank you for your
I think
time
we've rambled.
and presence, so I appreciate that.
So if you don't have something out of that, he probably had it told you before he came. We won't shut her up.
Oh, no.